Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. Today I'm finally giving you the full apartment tour you've been asking for. Let's go. I'm so excited to finally show you my room makeover. It took forever, but look at this backdrop. What do you guys think of the new
High school graduation was just months away. A bright future in the military, a straight-A student, a beloved varsity cheerleader. Anna Keeptainer was on a Caribbean cruise aboard the Carnival Horizon, a floating city designed for fun. But when the ship returned to the port of Miami, Anna's body was wheeled off, and the FBI was already waiting. Her tragic death remained shrouded in a mystery that begins in international waters. Anna, 18, from Titusville, Florida, was described by her family as happy, bubbly, and full of promise. She excelled in gymnastics, loved the ocean, holding a boater's license and scuba certification, and was preparing for her military test. Incorporate the entire social media tribute and detail about her senior parking spot here, slowing the pace for emotional impact. The Carnival Horizon is a marvel, 15 decks high, carrying over 4,000 passengers. It's a city on water, and like any city, it harbors secrets. This was not Anna's first cruise. Her last TikTok post about a previous voyage simply read, "I want to go back." Tragically, she returned, but she never came home. On Saturday, November 8th, the Horizon docked. Anna's body was removed, and the single, chilling fact was released. The FBI is investigating. But what happened? Where was she found? And most importantly, who was she with? All we have is silence from the authorities. Given Anna's age and the setting, what is the most unsettling aspect of this case to you? The location, a cruise ship, or the total lack of information from the FBI? To cut through the speculation, we bring in cruise ship lawyer Michael Kelman to explain the unique jurisdiction of a death at sea involving a U.S. citizen. While the FBI always investigates deaths of U.S. citizens in international waters, the extreme tight-lipped silence from the FBI and Carnival is telling. Mr. Kelman confirms that the cruise line and the FBI likely have a tremendous amount of information that is simply not public, on the difference between standard FBI involvement and unusual confidentiality. The cruise line is always the first enforcement body on the scene. Their own security staff, who work for the company, conduct the initial investigation. This grants the company massive power over how the investigation is teed up. A cruise ship collects data that would alarm most passengers. On the types of data, every purchase, every keycard swipe, every alcohol consumption record, every communication log, and every interaction recorded by the ship's sophisticated camera system. This trail is crucial. If you were the FBI, what is the absolute first piece of physical evidence you would seize and analyze upon boarding the ship in Miami? Based on decades of experience, Mr. Kelman points to three most likely factors in a death at sea, especially involving a young person. While less likely for an 18-year-old, sudden cardiac events or undiagnosed conditions can happen. Quickly dismiss this as improbable given Anna's apparent health. Statistically, suicides are a frequent cause of death on cruise ships. Discuss the difficulty of determining this without a note, and the psychological screening the FBI would perform. We have no evidence of this, but it is a necessary part of the investigative lens. This is the most invariable factor in cases involving younger passengers. People treat cruise ships like an insulated bubble, leaving common sense at the port. Anna was 18, meaning she was below the U.S. legal drinking age. Expand this discussion significantly. Cruise lines, while operating in international waters where the drinking age can be 18, often have internal policies. However, alcohol is a massive revenue stream. Was she overserved? Did she get drinks from another passenger? Overconsumption leads to impaired judgment, increasing the risk of falls, injuries, or worse. This leads directly to the next critical topic. In the tragic event that Anna's death was caused by the cruise line's negligence, like overserving, poor security, or a poorly maintained area, her family would face a legal obstacle dating back over 100 years, the Death on the High Seas Act, DOSA. Passed in 1920 to promote maritime commerce, DOSA drastically limits damages in wrongful death cases occurring beyond 3 nautical miles from U.S. shores. For a single, non-dependent person like Anna, this nasty federal law would essentially limit damages to just funeral expenses. Use the detailed bar analogy here. If Anna were overserved at a bar in Miami and died in a car crash, the bar could be on the hook for millions. The fact that the bar was on a boat completely changes the law, effectively giving the cruise line a get-out-of-jail-free card for negligence leading to death. Carnival and other cruise lines spend massive amounts on lobbying to prevent Congress from changing DOSA. This law, passed 100 years ago, is intentionally used today to shield multi-billion-dollar corporations from true accountability. This is why cases like Anna's, when they do turn out to be negligence, must be high-profile. Does the fact that a corporation actively lobbies to keep a law that limits death damages to funeral costs change how you view booking a cruise? Why or why not? Though rare, Mr. Kellman admits that the word is out. Cruise ships are places where bad people can get away with bad things. Why? Because there is no independent law enforcement agency on board. The lawyer describes rapes and sexual assaults as a hidden epidemic on cruise ships. When these crimes are reported, the ship security is often accused of trying to pressure victims not to report the crime to protect the company's image. This institutional desire to sweep it under the rug is a significant safety hazard. The fact that Anna's death likely occurred in international waters adds layers of complexity, potentially involving the flag state, e.g., Panama or the Bahamas, though the FBI always leads. This maze of jurisdictions further protects the cruise line. Expand the 2 key pieces of advice. Don't leave your common sense at the port. Treat the ship like a major city, New York City, London. You wouldn't let your kids wander alone at 3 a.m. in a major city. You shouldn't do it on the ship. Read the ticket contract. Cruise lines force passengers to sue in specific jurisdictions, often Miami, or increasingly, foreign jurisdictions like Italy or the UK, which limits passenger rights. The ship docked on Saturday. The FBI was quick, turning the ship around that same day. Mr. Kellman believes the family, the FBI, and Carnival know exactly what happened. The question remains, will the public ever know? The FBI is mandated to be tight-lipped, protecting the investigation and victim rights. The story of Anna Keeptainer, the cheerleader, the student, the future soldier, is a tragic reminder of the hidden dangers that lie beneath the polished veneer of a luxury cruise. Her death demands accountability, whether it was due to corporate negligence or a criminal act that occurred in the 4,000-person city she was aboard. You dedicated an hour of your time to Anna's story because you demand answers and you believe that transparency is essential, especially when major corporations are involved. You committed to understanding the DOSA law, the hidden epidemic of assault, and the unique challenges of investigating a death at sea. But less than 10% of you who watch these in-depth reports are subscribed. If you genuinely believe that cases like Anna's deserve a spotlight to pressure Congress, the FBI, and corporations like Carnival for accountability, then you must subscribe. Don't just absorb this truth and walk away. Hit that subscribe button now. It is the only way we know this crucial, legally complex work is valued, and the only way we can continue to fight for the answers Anna's family deserves. Subscribe and help us keep the pressure on.